up and
My sister
your
Jane will as well.
Okay, Jane, and whatever you might like to say, and then we'll cover
I first want to thank everybody for coming. Sorry, it's a little bit emotional, but I just want to say that I chose this picture in the brochure because this picture was the pinnacle of my father's career. This was in 1970, either while he was acting president of the college or shortly thereafter. And every one of these people are college professors or in some way related to the college. I don't know them all, but it's very enjoyable. One of the reasons that I really pursued this bench issue here was that on September 11, 2001, after watching the debacle on the TV for 6 hours, probably having seen it, 1,000 times, I walked up the hill and sat on the pre-existing George Appleton bench there, and I regained the semblance of mind, a comfort that said, all is going to be okay because this bench is here. And what I'd like these benches to represent is the friendship that they had. George and my father's participation together gave us this ability to function in the world because we knew that people function, and it's really a blessing. And the people, I just want to say thank you, kind of like the Academy Awards. I'd like to thank the Appletons, your family. Without you and George, we'd have not been us. I'd like to thank my father's contemporaries who are here, and we're very thankful that you're here. It was exceptionally nice that Dr. McIntosh would send those words, because when I was 13 years old, my father and I took a father and son trip. And one of our stops was in Bozeman, Montana, where Dr. McIntosh was president of Montana State University. As he'd been here, that's what he pursued. And it was one of the greatest times in my life was being taken to the rodeo there. And Dr. McIntosh treated us like absolute gods in our own way, which was amazing because my father owed so much to Dr. McIntosh because Dr. McIntosh picked him at these little times in his life where he'd been sitting out here at the registration desk with all the students and somehow pulled him up. And so I give Dr. McIntosh an awful lot of gratitude. I've always appreciated that my father's presidential portrait sits next to Dr. McIntosh's, or it used to, hidden in the library. I'd like to thank the Appletons. I'd like to thank his contemporaries. I'd like to thank his students, George, who I forgot, Chris Appleton, who I forgot was his student, and the Sugiyama brothers in the back, who treated my father so well. They and Dr. Patnay, who they're all dentists, would, after my father's retirement, would take him out to dinner and took him out to lunch. And my father was just, he was so appreciative of that. And most of all, I thank my friends who came here because that's what these benches represent. I've said too much, but it's, I can't thank you all enough for being here today. It means endless to me. Anything from you?
I'm an English teacher, so I can't shut my mouth. But I would say that it's been a long time since my father was working here and taught here, and since I lived in Long Beach. And I come back and the campus has changed so tremendously. I mean, it's really expanded and grown. It's beautiful. But when I think of George and my father, I think always that it was not about the facilities particularly because they were fairly primitive when they started working here. It's always been about the people, the collegiality. I think it's appropriate they are together for that reason. And so that's all I have to say. I want to thank you for working so hard on this and everybody else.
Yeah, there's many people.
I second all the thank yous that Peter gave, but he did so much that I think that's enough for me. Thank you.
I really want to thank Marianne Horton, who was the big assist on this, and Ashley did a tremendous job in actually arranging.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Go ahead, Amy. Then I'm going to come over here so I can head straight on.
Thank you.
See, the first to be able to enjoy the bench.
Absolutely. Having her in the sun. Just have you Do you want your sweater on? Why don't you take off your sweater? Yeah. Take off your sweater and take off your boots. You certainly don't need that.
You don't need your name tag.
So used to having that IV in that arm that you don't even take with your sweater on. Ready? Okay.
So we want to leave the plaque so that they can get that. So put them on right. Get your help out of it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.